Good day, learners. Welcome to our lesson in comprehension. I hope you're going to pay attention and see how we can get on to do our comprehension exercises. Comprehension is interesting because we read to understand. We also read to get information. We also read to learn about new ideas and new things. But we also need to learn to answer questions if at all we are asked to do an examination. If we are writing an examination, we need to understand the text, what it's all about, and how best we can arrive at the answers that are required. So today's comprehension is interesting because it's very related to where we are having the lesson from. Okay? The country of Botswana is a country that has a lot of diamonds, and it is popular for that. And I thought this comprehension would be interesting because it reflects on Botswana's wealth, it reflects on Botswana's income, it also reflects on the cultural aspect of Botswana and how they relate to the diamond industry. So this is why I picked this topic. It's very interesting, and we're going to learn more about how the diamonds were discovered and how the government does its diamond industry. So the passage is quite long, but we can still get information and we can still answer some questions at the end of our comprehension passage. I also want to emphasize to say comprehension is interesting, but it's not everyone who gets good grades in comprehension. Some people lose out marks because they cannot understand what is required of them to do, especially when they answer comprehension passages. So we need to be extremely careful. We need to read and understand what the question is all about. We should not be in a hurry to answer questions, but we need to read and understand the questions so that when we go and look for answers in the passage, we easily get them. Okay, so here we go, and let's see how far we can go. There are many ways in which you can answer questions in comprehension, but I would advise to say sometimes you can read and answer questions stage by stage. That is, if you check a comprehension passage that is given to you, you can go to the first question. Usually the first question in the comprehension passage asks for information that you can get from paragraph 1. That one will be easy, and the progression of the questions start from the easiest to the more challenging and the more difficult ones as time goes on. So we have a comprehension passage here which is interesting, and we'll still read it like I said, and I would like to actually commend to say there are some people who scan. You can scan a comprehension passage, meaning you can just read through quickly from paragraph to paragraph. That way you are scanning. And scanning, yes, you can get information, but you are bound to miss the most important information. So I'll start with the first paragraph. The first paragraph is interesting because it shows the beginning of mining of diamonds in the country of Botswana. And it says, as I read paragraph 1, it says Botswana is famous for its diamond industry. A company called De Beers helped search for diamonds all over the country. The De Beers mining company began looking for diamonds in Botswana in 1955. That was way back, years back, before independence. The company started the search around Lobatse and Gaborone. Gaborone is the capital city of Botswana, but that's where they started searching for those diamonds. Then near Hansi, another place, and then in Muchudi. Muchudi is a place where the Dao Academy is, and they also did search for diamonds here, but they never found anything. But we believe if they search hard, maybe they'll find them, who knows. And the paragraph continues, and in all these places, they found nothing. Therefore, in 1962, they began another search in the Central District. The only clue they had was that 3 diamonds had been found on the bank of Mutulusi River. This river is about 70 kilometers west of Francistown. The Mutulusi River, like other rivers in Botswana, is dry for many months of the year. It only has water after heavy rains. So we know Botswana is semi-arid. There isn't much rain, but it does rain, but not as much as in other parts of the world. Okay, so this explains why maybe the river is described as it becomes dry at some parts of the year. So if you check paragraph 1, already it has given us a precedent, it has given us where we're going and what the discovery of diamonds was all about. So if you check and you're writing a comprehension, the first question says, in which of the following places did the Beers Mining Company first start to look for diamonds? In my explanation, I made it clear to say usually a question after the passage will always be easier for the reader, and it's always easier to get because mainly it's a question that is asked from paragraph 1 of the passage. So the answers are given here, and if you check in the passage, a lot of places have been mentioned. Haworoni has been mentioned, Hansi has been mentioned, Muchudi has been mentioned, Central District have been mentioned. And among all those places mentioned where they started to explore for minerals, they are among the answers given. So it takes a learner to understand which one was the correct place where they did find the diamonds. Mind you, they did search for all those places. So if a learner does not read very, very well, does not read with understanding, they'll pick an answer that is wrong. But in actual fact, even if they searched all these places, only specific places did they discover diamonds. Okay, so here we go. In Hansi and Muchudi, did they explore? They did explore minerals, but they didn't find anything. So if we go back to the passage, you can see, the company started the search around Lovase and Aboroni, then near Hansi, and then in Muchudi. In all these places, they found nothing at all. They found nothing. So when you say Hansi and Muchudi, should you choose answer A, it means you are very wrong, because the passage said they found nothing actually in Hansi and Muchudi. Okay. Haboroni and Lovase, they did not also find anything, but you discover to say the company started to search around Lovase and Haboroni, Hansi, Muchudi, all those places. Central District, they searched, and then there's nothing that they found. The only clue they had was that 3 diamonds had been found on the bank of Mtulusi River. This river is about 70 kilometers west of Francistown. The Mtulusi River is like other rivers in Botswana. It is dry and it has only water after the heavy rains. Let's go back to our answer. So Lovase and Haboroni, nothing was found there. So you discover to say, if the Mtulusi River is around 70 kilometers west of Francistown, it qualifies the answer to say it was found in Francistown, around that place. So the answer there will dispute that answer. And then if we are not very careful, we're going to go further and read in the next paragraph. Okay? We're going to dispute that and read in the next paragraph. So Hansi and Mochudi is not a place where they discovered it. Lovas and Avalon, they never discovered it. Let's go to paragraph 2 and see which is the correct answer. In paragraph 2 says, 3 diamonds had probably been washed away by the river many years ago. The likely source of the diamonds was somewhere up the river. Therefore, the search for diamonds was somewhere up the river. The search for diamonds was focused on the area near the river, where the river originated. Scientists called geologists followed the source of the river westward. A few diamonds were found along the banks of the river. They, however, could not locate the place where the diamonds had come from. Okay, so if you check very well among our answers, so when you check among our answers, the only answer that qualifies is Francistown and Orapa. That's where they first found the mines. Okay, that's where they found the diamonds. Because the question says, in which of the following places did the real mining company first start to look for diamonds? Okay, so if you don't understand the question very well, in which place did they first start looking for diamonds? They searched for diamonds all over, but the search was around Lovase and Avoroni. So the search was around Lovase and Avoroni. That's where they first started searching for, but the diamonds were eventually found in Francistown. So there's a difference here. B is the correct answer because that's where they started searching for. But the actual diamonds were discovered in Francistown and Orapa. But the search started first in Lovase and Avoroni. So our answer is going to be B. Then we can also move on. In paragraph 2, there's a question which says, they, in paragraph 2, refers to what? Who does the word they refer to? When you look at paragraph 2, the word they is highlighted. It is highlighted. So if the word they is highlighted, it means it refers to who does it talk about. So let's read this paragraph and see. Let's just start from here. If I start from here, you can see the word says, therefore, the search for diamonds was focused on the area where the river originated. Scientists called geologists followed the source of the river westwards. Okay? A few diamonds were found along the banks of the river. They, however, could not locate the place where the diamonds had come from. If you check the word they, who does it refer to? It refers to scientists, who are called what? Geologists. Now let's look at our answers. In our answers, we have doctors. Doctors are scientists, quite all right, but they're not mentioned in the passage. Nurses are scientists. Miners, you have to do mining engineering to explore the minerals. But geologist qualifies the answer. So our answer there is going to be A. That's what the word they refers to. All right? So as we progress on, we discover to say it's easy to get answers correct if we are taking time and we are reading and we are finding information in a systematic manner. And then we can also go to question. The third question that says, when did Orapa start producing diamonds? When did Orapa start producing diamonds? We can go back to our passage, and then probably it's not in paragraph 2, we can move on. From paragraph 2, we can go to paragraph 4, which says, the diamond mine in Orapa is very valuable, meaning there is a lot of diamonds there. It is the second largest diamond mine in the world, and in 1971, Orapa mine started producing diamonds. So if you check question 3, it's one of the easiest questions that anyone can actually pick on. So we are told, and we are asked, by the way, says, when did Orapa start producing diamonds? And in paragraph 4, it's just there, in plain sight. It says diamonds the production of diamonds by Orapa mines started in 1971, and the answer is right there before our eyes. Then let's go to the more tricky one. The question that follows says, which of these statements is true about Mutuluse River? We want to find information whether it is true or it is wrong. The first sentence says, it is used to wash diamonds. Is it really true that it is used to wash diamonds? How do we get to that answer, and how do we qualify or disqualify that statement? So if you check in paragraph 2, starting from paragraph 1, Mutuluse River is suspected to be the river where the diamonds were washed off. The diamonds that were discovered around Francistown washed away from Mutuluse River. Not really that they are washed or cleaned from there. So that's the reason why A will not be correct. Okay? So if you go to B, it says, it is a shallow valley that produces diamonds. Okay? Then C says its bank is where the 3 diamonds were found. And then D says it is the main source of diamonds produced in Botswana. If you read the whole passage, you go to the whole passage, you see to say, in paragraph 4, Orapa mine produces diamonds. Apart from that, Jwaneng mine produces diamonds. And then we also have other areas that produce diamonds, like Letakane and Damsha. Those are places where diamonds are produced. So if you look at answer D, it is the main source of diamonds produced in Botswana, then we know it is not true. So D is wrong, A is wrong, B is also wrong. But the correct answer is C. It is a bank where the 3 diamonds were found. And it is true. We can go to the passage where you can see in paragraph 1, it says, Mutuluse River, like any other river in Botswana, is dry, and for many months of the year, it only has water after heavy rains. But the most important thing is the sentence before that, which says, the only clue they had was that 3 diamonds had been found on the bank of Mutuluse River. So that's a statement which is a fact and it's factual. So it qualifies that statement. So finding information for true and false is important. You don't just get the answer correctly right there and then. You need to read and understand what they're saying, because the statements which are given in the sentence, most of them might not be correct. Then we can now go on to the next question. Where do most of Botswana's diamonds come from? Where do most of Botswana's diamonds come from? Is it Letakane mine? In the passage, is Letakane mine mentioned? Yes, it is mentioned. Damsha is mentioned. Orapa is mentioned. Jwaneng is also mentioned. So all those are mentioned as mines where diamonds are produced. But then the question is saying, where do most? If you look at the word most, it should be underlined, and the word most is emphasizing. We're going to agree. All those areas mentioned produce diamonds, but where do most of them come? Meaning, where does the biggest quantity of diamonds come from? So let's go back to our passage and see what answer we can get out of that. So here we go. Let me read paragraph 4. From here, I can say the most important find of all was 1973, which was the discovery of diamonds at Jwaneng, which is located about 125 kilometers west of Gaborone. Jwaneng mine has an area of 54 hectares. It is probably the most important mine discovered anywhere in the world. In 1983, Jwaneng mine produced about 5.8 million carats of 110 kilograms of diamonds. Okay, so you can now try to compare to say where were most of the diamonds produced, and you can check the answers there. Is it Letakani mine? Is it Jwaneng? Is it Damsha? Is it Orapa? The answer there is Jwaneng, which is B. That's the answer that qualifies the statement. Then the next question also is interesting. It talks about a false statement. Which information is not valid from the passage? Because the first one says Orapa has a rich deposit of diamonds. The second one says Orapa produces 4.5 million carats of diamonds. Orapa produces 5.8 million carats of diamonds. And the last one, but not the least, says Orapa is the second largest diamond mine in the world. Which one is false among those? Let's look at Orapa. How has Orapa been described? First of all, we say Orapa mine is very valuable. It is the second largest diamond mine in the world. Let's go to the answers. It says Orapa is the second largest diamond mine in the world. I'll start with the bottom statement. Is this true? Yes, it is, because it's even mentioned in the passage. So we are looking for the statement that is not correct. That's the statement we are looking at. We are looking for. So let's move on. So we know that D is actually true. Let's go back to the passage and see. Orapa mine started producing after more exploration. Two smaller diamond mines were found southeast of Orapa in Letakane and Damsha. In 1979, Orapa mine has produced 4.5 million carats of diamonds. Let's see what it talks about. So, Orapa has a rich deposit of diamonds. Does it have a rich deposit of diamonds? Yes, it does. So if you check the answer there, it is actually a statement that is correct. So D and A are correct. All right? D and A are correct. Then we can also move on to the other one, which says produces 4.5 million of diamonds. If we check the one that produces 4.5 million of diamonds, if you check our statement there, Orapa mine produced this. That was then. We don't know how much it produces now. So we wouldn't really know whether what it produces is more now. But we can say, the last statement says, Jwaneng mine produced about 5.8 million. So the one that produces 5.8 million is actually Jwaneng and not Orapa. So the statement that is false is C, because in the statement, in the passage there, we are told clearly to say Jwaneng mine is the one that produced 5.8 million carats and not Orapa. So finding out information is very, very important. And then if I can go back to question, the question that is just above this, which says, where do most of Botswana's diamonds come from? Okay, so the Takan mine has been disputed. I think earlier on I said Jwaneng mine. Jwaneng mine produces 5.8 million carats of diamonds, okay? But there's a question of trying to find out which mine is very valuable between Jwaneng and Orapa. But you need to understand to say, even if Orapa is valuable, that Jwaneng still produces more diamonds, because here is written 5.8, the other one has 4.8. So that's why Jwaneng qualified as an answer. And then we can move on quickly as we wrap up our comprehension passage, and then we can look for information further and further. Orapa is named after what is it named after? Is it a hospital? Is it a cattle post? Is it a famous scientist? A long, shallow valley? All those answers that are given there, or statements that are given, are just distractors. So we need to find out, what is Orapa named after? How did the mine Orapa come about? How did the name come about? So we can look for that information, and then we can move on to paragraph 2. We can move on to paragraph 2. Let's see if we can find that information. Paragraph 2 says, the 3 diamonds had probably been washed by the river many years ago. The likely source of the diamonds was somewhere up the river. Therefore, the search for diamonds was focused on the area where the river originated from. In paragraph 2, unfortunately, we won't find any information about that. We can move on to paragraph 3, and I'm going to start from here, which says, in this area, they found a kind of rock called kimberlite. The team was very happy because diamonds and kimberlite are usually found in the same place. They went to make a careful investigation of the area, and luckily, in 1967, a rich deposit of diamond was found. The place where diamonds were found was called Orapa, after a cattle post nearby. A cattle post is an area where people basically keep their animals far away from their homes. So in the answer there, in the answer that are given, my answer will be B, not the hospital, not the famous scientist. And as quickly as we wrap up, the other question that says, what would be the most suitable title for the passage? Now, a passage always has the story behind it, okay? A passage always has a story behind it, and that's that information that is in a paragraph. From paragraph to paragraph, it grows to a story that somebody is building up on. So if you check in our paragraphs that are in our passage, it's all about diamonds. It's all about diamonds. It's not talking about war. It's not talking about keeping animals. It's just talking about diamonds and their discovery. So you can check the answers there which are given. People or students will make a mistake to say HIV and AIDS in Botswana. And if it's A, it has not been mentioned at all, absolutely. Economic growth in Botswana, that's not the point. Agricultural production in Botswana, it has not been mentioned. But from paragraph 1, we can see how the Botswana diamond industry grew from stage to stage. So this is the reason why in paragraph 1 they said, or it's written to say, they started exploration of minerals, diamonds, in different places. In paragraph 2, they're talking about the discovery by the geologist. In paragraph 3, more prospecting, more looking for diamonds, until in paragraph 4 where Jwaneng mine or Orapa mine produces diamonds and then discovers 5.8 million carats of diamonds and so forth. So all this story is based on the discovery of diamonds in Botswana. That's why it is important about this. Okay, so the best topic for this passage will be the discovery of diamonds in Botswana, not any other things that are written here. All right. So as we end, you discover to say writing a comprehension passage is interesting, but you need to be skillful in reading and finding information that is required. And then we also need to make sure you take your time to read. There's a challenge here then. If you read too slowly, you might not find time to finish completely and answer correctly. You need to time yourself. Read with accuracy, read with understanding, and make sure you do the right thing. The next two last questions are simple ones, I think. We are going to look at what you call contextual clues, or words that are used in the context. There is a word prospecting in paragraph 3, and it is highlighted. Okay? There is also another word, bank, in paragraph 1. It's also highlighted. How has the word been used in this passage? If you check in our question, it says, what do the following words in question 23, forget about this, 23 and 24, forget about them, but what do the words bank, prospecting mean as used in the passage? Not the way you know them, not the way you relate with them. We know very well, if I have a bank, it means I'm a rich man. That's why I keep my money. But that's not what it means here, okay? Prospecting, what is prospecting? How do people relate to prospecting? We need to understand these concepts. So I'll start with this one. When you talk about a bank, it's not a building where money is kept. Yes, it's a building where money is kept, but in this context, it's not the place where money is kept. Okay? In reality, yes, money, if you want to withdraw money, go to the bank. It's a building there. But this word, as used in the passage, does not mean A. Okay? Does not mean A at all. Then B, a raised area along a river, putting money into a safe, depending on someone. So you find that where the diamonds were discovered is actually a raised area along a river. Okay? Because if you check in paragraph 1, it says, therefore, in 1962, they began another search in the Central District. The only clue they had was that 3 diamonds had been found on the bank of Mutulusi River. So the answer there for is actually B, a raised area along the river. That's why they discovered the diamonds. It's not really the bank where they put the money, no, but this one is a contextual clue that is given. Then prospecting, when you are prospecting, what are you doing? Okay, what are you doing when you are prospecting? In paragraph 3, the paragraph says, when the search team visited the source of the Mutulusi River, they found a long, shallow valley running westwards, which looked like an old river. However, they could not find anything. They could not find any diamonds in the area. The prospecting team was very disappointed, and before the search was stopped, they decided to make one final attempt. If I were you, what would I think of if somebody says search? If somebody was searching, what does that tell you? What do you have in mind? If somebody is searching, it means they are looking for something. So among our answers here, deciding on something is out of the way. Producing something, no. Our answer would be A, and that is our answer. Our answer will be searching for something. When you're prospecting, it means you are searching for something. So comprehension is a very interesting topic. And a lot of learners have difficulty in getting answers correct because they cannot read things correctly. Some of them just take it for granted that they've got the correct answer, yet the answers that they arrive at are wrong. So you need to be very careful in answering comprehension. You need to read your passage, as I've just explained, and arrive at answers that can give you good marks. For now, I think we're going to end here, and thank you for watching, and have a good day.